All right. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back to another live session. So I hope everyone is feeling good. I hope everyone is ready here for this beautiful day. There's a couple of stocks that I'm watching. First and foremost, TENX, which will be the main stock today. There's also HSDT, AGFY, and potential continuation in FDMT. Those are the few that I'll be keeping an eye on here today. Let's see. I'll post this into the alert section as well as on YouTube. It looks like Marcelo isn't here. At least not streaming, at least. Big Steve, wrong bet. How you guys doing? What's up? What's up? So I'm gonna start off with TENX. This is the leading stock. It seems the most aggressive. It's up 120%. It's at a nice price range of $19-20, which means there'll be a lot of good range. So I like what I'm seeing here initially. We got a high point of 23.39, and the last high of day. By the way, there's my alarm for the screen recording. The last high of day we had at 19.20, and VWAP is currently at 19.20, and we're right up into this area. So I am a little interested in seeing how it plays out down here. Can we end up holding up? Can we end up holding up our key levels? So let's zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to get rid of some of the previous trend lines as they're not going to be as relevant. I got a ton of them actually. Sometimes you can clear the drawing set if you want a fresh start. Yeah, so it's not looking bad. I'm going to check the daily chart to see if there's anything that I need to be aware of here. Guys, make sure your screen recording is turned on. That way you can always go back and review. So I'm seeing that, and I'm guessing there was a split. There had to have been a split or something. But looking back after the adjustment, it's showing some higher points around 57, which I don't know if we'll get to 57, but I think 30 might be a good target. 35. There's 34 right there. 27. Yeah, I think maybe 30, 35 for a target. And if it goes supernova crazy, then maybe 57, 60. So I'm gonna just throw two trend lines just to, kind of like remind me, hey, if it gets up there and it's, having trouble, to just ease off a bit, don't overdo it. Don't get myself in trouble trying to overtrade. That's what the trend lines will, for me, really will, serve as. All right, so TENX looking good, right? Again, up 130%, and there's decent volume. The float is low. This will be my main watch. I'll start off with small size and then look to increase size gradually throughout the move. Big Steve, will today be a day? Yesterday on the $30 stock, I was trying 3K size. Oh no, 2,500 shares. I'll do the same thing here today if we see the right action. I wouldn't even mind going to 4K size. There's going to be a lot of risk. If we lose, we'll be losing big. But these days, we're more focused on managing risk and, looking to do well on the upside of things. So, the risk is always there. We got to remind ourselves of it. But hey, if this thing goes, I want all the smoke here today. I want the aggression. I want the nice move. After yesterday, I'm looking forward to being a little bit more sharp. So, let's see what this thing does. And I'm going to have two order entry windows because if I need to use size right away, then it's time for size, right? So with that being said, the other stocks, I mean, we'll have to see what they do, but quickly HSDT, just to get a high and a low in here, we got 1134 for highs, and the low point has been around 838. So HSDT, can we see a red to green and a move back up to pre-market highs? The daily chart, we got the 200 EMA at 1379. That's the 2 minute warning. And I am a little late today, right? It's the 2 minute warning there. Okay, so I think we're looking good. The other cheaper stock, I'll switch over to it if these ones fail, and then I'll pick it up from there. And that is AGFY, right? AGFY with a high point of 125, huge pullback with a low all the way at 79 cents. I'm not super sure if we're going to really get a nice sweet move on this one. We'll see what it does. So let's make sure our share size is set. If you're not looking to be super aggressive on this expensive stock and it's your main stock, of course, adjust accordingly, right? Manage risk. Make sure that everything is how it needs to be to give yourself the best odds. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, hit that thumbs up and let's get ready to rock and roll. Another beautiful day at last. And of course, with 1 minute to go, let's not forget our disclaimer. Guys, remember that day trading is a business. You must treat it as such. And remember, here in the States, 80% of small businesses fail within the first 2 to 3 years. So that lets you know the odds of day trading. Day trading is hard. Day trading will always be hard. And so it's best if we approach it with very small size or in a simulator if we're not quite where we need to be. It just makes sense, right? So do not go guns a-blazing if you're new or if you're not consistently hitting your marks. It's best to go slow, build the experience, become competent, and then increase the risk over time. Other than that, remember the live stream is never an invitation to copy trade. Copy trading is a recipe to blow up an account very quickly. And lastly, I do not invest for subscribers, so be careful with fake accounts. I will never ask you for money or personal information, and I will never message you first, so stay safe out there. The spreads are massive. That wasn't a bad trade. Spreads are big. We got to be careful with these spreads. Not a great fill, but can we see something to the upside here? Should have took profits in the spreads. Gonna try again. Long at 92. Well, we know it wasn't gonna be easy, as I'm smiling here after that flush out. The low there was at 1906. So maybe it needs a little bit more time to catch itself here. The high current candle is 2020. I love the trades I took in there, though. I think all those trades were great trades. That's what I like to see for myself to start the day. Firing off in all the right areas. Now, as long as the stock gives the follow through, we can do well. 1839 for the lows. Oh, it's gonna go. We need See the bounce? KB, where are those bulls, brother? It looks like it's having trouble. I'm gonna check the cheaper stock here. AGFY, how are we doing? Not so great. HSDT. What was the low? 1924 and then 1839. I mean, kind of high, not great. Well, the dip there is not gonna work. I'm along the other stock. The other stock not really. Okay. My gosh, it is just it's a mess. I think I'll wait for more volume here on HSDT. I don't like how the bids are just giving out. I'm gonna pull it on screen when I can. Fill me, fill me, fill me. Come on, come on. I threw out that bid good, nice and early. So I'm gonna miss my dip there at 93. It's back at 24 on the ask. HSDT. We're getting a small red to green. You know, we're seeing what it's gonna do here. It's kind of struggling. We're seeing good volume, but the ask is pushing up, the bids are not. Okay. It's a tricky stock, this one, with the level 2. It better not fail us here. That's the key. Do not fail us now. Nope, nope. Hitting the wrong hotkeys here. I sold market on accident and sold way too many of my shares early. Fill me, come on. Where are those bulls? Ay, ay, ay. Pastor, pastor. Fat finger errors costing us. The VWAP is at 58. Will we see a new high of day here? Perhaps we might. It's giving some good dips, but you got to get in on the bids. I'm going to get in on the ask right there, only making a couple cents. Potential resistance at 56. AGFY is moving up, I'd say nicely. Hopefully we get over 1. What's going on? Why here, Phil's? What's that? What is that? If that happens again, I'm done with the stock. You see how the orders are just sitting there. AGFY might just be the one. It's already at 93. Let me get a position ready, because if this thing is gonna go, might be a little too much risk for that type of size. So let me come down in size a little bit. Okay, HSDT. What is it gonna be? It's another issue with not being able to use the ladder here. Risk to reward. There's a lot of risk here. AGFY is at the VWAP again. Oh, are you kidding me? I tried again. Where are those bulls? Where are those bulls? Oh, AGFY. KB, right now I'm just waiting patiently here, KB, waiting patiently. Am I gonna get stopped out? Oh, yes, I am. Goodness. Switching over to the other one. I was looking to hold that longer. I would have preferred I would have preferred the oh, jeez, this thing has range. Oh, there's a $250 loss on AGFY in one trade, which is not great. And I'm only using 5,000 size. It's gonna dip back below the VWAP. Okay, that's me coming into the stock with not enough information. Maybe I could have been a little quicker to get out, but watching for us to potentially hold the VWAP to curl back up 93 area, but it Titanics to 90. I'm probably in 94 if I had to guess. Not happy about that, but okay, cool. Scratch trade. It seems like the momentum is in the dumps, right? Our top two stocks have sold off. Maybe it's a place to just already say, hey, let's like take it easy. So I'm gonna size down and everything. Nothing is looking good here. This is all awful. How's TENX halting down? Is it just halted? Is it still halted down? What's going on with that one? Or is it halting down again? Okay, looks like it's halting down again here. Yeah, I'm not sure why I lost so much money on this thing, so I got to be very careful here. Losing 200 bucks on one trade where I should have a tight stop is like pretty insane for this price. Got to do a better job managing risk. Yeah, it just looks like today is not it. It's not what we would want from the stocks. GRRR yesterday ended up being decent. I just missed the break of one. By the time I pulled it up, it's at 110. So I made 400 bucks and then I lost it back. Getting a little too aggressive thinking that it was going to continue around that 115, 120 area. What's the overall market looking like? Small green. Do I want to just log out right now? It's a valid question, right? Do I want to say, hey, if today's just not it, let me take a flat day and get out of here? I let my guard down once on this stock. I'm already down 200 bucks. Decisions. What is the right thing to do? Okay, we're seeing a bit of a red to green here. Oh my gosh, come on, man. Come on, come on. I gotta not lose here. And let's size back up because it's looking good. I need another order entry. AGFY. Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe if we get over one, we can move a little bit better. Waiting. Is this it? Still seems to be having some trouble. You know, let it go and then get in after we hold. Can we break and hold the level? Is that 92 I just saw? There's no way. I like that it's still holding above the view up, but definitely a very sharp pullback here. It's having some trouble. Can the 1 minute candle make a new high? Waiting patiently here. The 5 minute candles look good. It's definitely not as active as I thought it would have been. It's moving like a big float. Now that it's over one, we went up 3 cents. Oh, fucking hell. Okay. Alright, cool. I was waiting for that break down below 1. We're not gonna get it. The green is an instant 3-cent jump. It's not bad. Not a bad move. But we'd love to see 10 out of this, if possible. Can we see 10? Can we get to 110? There's 6. There's 7. Can we see 10? It's definitely not ideal, but it's moving. There's 8. It's a slow move. Is the other stock halting up? TENX? It looks like it is. It's a nice red to green here so far. Or false halt, something close. I gotta be careful with my share size, or I will get blazed. I don't want to be taking 8,000 size on TENX. That would be problematic. Pre-market high is 124. So far, the stock is moving very slowly. If TENX gives the 1 minute candle to make a new high, it could be interesting here as well. But I can't tell if the shares there got filled. There's a 10,000 share bid in proximity. Pretty big spread here. AGFY, I'm gonna still keep an eye on it for dips. I don't know about the breakouts, but the dips are not doing too bad. TENX holding up at 17, which is not a bad sign. Seems like that bid is getting filled. There could be a good trade coming here. There's like a 40-cent spread here is the only problem. AGFY, the dip was at 3. I was in at 5. Didn't get a chance to add. So I took it flat. And there's a dollar share drop. What a mess. How's the 5-minute candlestick looking? Stocks are in the depths. The depths, the depths, the depths. Oh, it's coming down some more. Well, this might be a good place to stop. I've already asked myself the question once. And I think this might do it, brother. This might do it. There's not a thing here for me today. I am a little disappointed in this stock, though, that we haven't been able to get one winning trade. All losers, even buying into this beautiful area right here. This was prime time. Nice bottoming wick, sweet red to green. All signs pointing for a move up, but I still got chopped out in this area, which is a little unbelievable. High of 99, pulled back to 92. I think this kind of stock I have to give my undivided attention to be able to do well. The first area I bought for the $200 loss was right here in the dip back to VWAP, but we kind of dipped pretty low. So on the first move down right here, I was kind of a little hesitant. Are we going to be able to hold the VWAP? We did. Well, this was from 1 to 92. So from 1 to 95, I thought it was a little high. Didn't get in. It held 95. Right here, we kind of had a quick double bottom. It's down, tried back up, and then the move. Throwing in the towel, at least for now. I think I'll come back again later. Power hour, maybe 1 p.m., 12. I'll check back in randomly, keep an eye on the chat, see if anything is moving, because this is not good momentum. HSDT did have a nice dip out of that halt, but of course, if you're not paying attention, then you're not going to capture that trade. If you're watching at a different stock, right? Opened up much lower, small bottoming wick, rip. These kind of trades are very risky, but I buy them just off the strength of us being down so much. Like, unless there's like an offering, we shouldn't keep just dropping, right? So sometimes I literally just buy with no indicator other than it should bounce, which is pretty risky. I'm not gonna lie, it's risky, and there are days on these resumption trades going down where it needs to go down more before a bounce, and I end up losing. The writing was on the wall, and the writing is still on the wall now. Yeah, what I did yesterday was X out my platform. I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna leave whenever the time is right because yesterday when I came back, I could have done so much better if I didn't have to log in because something was like moving in the moment, and I did miss like 50% of the move on GRR over one, which was a decent move. AGFY. TENX, stocks like TENX, pre-market, anybody that loves to trade pre-market, it's a nice move. But into the open, this is what we've had. Downtrending. This area here is probably an area I could have done well in. But again, as we're kind of trending down, watching at other stocks. And I could watch it right here on this bear flag too. Maybe it does curl up through 23. But the volume is so light, it's decreasing volume. I prefer to trade when the volume is higher. I think it's a little bit better on the level 2. This right here, the spreads are right now 35 cents, 15.80 by well, it's gonna tighten up here a little bit. We had 15.80 by 16.10. With that kind of spread, you just don't know, 50, here we go, 15.80 by 16.14. It's gonna be hard to tell, at this level of 23 if we're gonna see the move or not because of just the spread. A little bit of green, maybe it jumps to 35.40. You think it's looking good, but then the bids probably are like 15.90. Some red hits. There's 15.50 on the bids. It's just too much risk. So the spreads are a little tighter here, which is better. Can the spreads remain tight right here? All right, all right. This is what I would want to see. The spreads are pretty tight. The bids are holding up. So can we see a push here? 40, 50. And there's no volume coming in. So I'll cut that scratch. Once I'm in, it needs to be going. So the spreads are 13 cents here, which is much better than 35, 40 cents. But even then, we're not seeing anything. Maybe it goes eventually, but yeah. I gotta try to walk away faster on these kind of days because, I always ask that question the moment I realize nothing is working, and then, of course, in classic fashion, I keep trading, and what happens to me is that something always looks good, but because the overall context is so weak, what is looking good isn't really good. I size up and then boom, red day recap. Red day recap. I should have checked per shares to short, by the way. I forgot about that, but yeah, it's gonna come down a bit. The low here is around 15.50, but we have 75 by 20 on a huge spread, so this is just a mess right now. This for me is no man's land. I wouldn't even at that point. AGFY. I really despise being red on cheap stocks, man. I feel like because the spreads are usually so tight, you should be able to manage risk, much better. Like I'm more red on that than I am on TENX, and TENX is a $20 stock. Like we were dropping 50 cents at a time. So again, before you switch to a new stock, it's not a bad idea to take a little bit of time just to get acquainted with the price action. Instead of just, hey, this is a cheap stock, I'm gonna go big size because it's cheap. That is not the whole story. Still gotta get still have to understand the personality of the stock. Are we, seeing flush outs of like 3, 4, 5 cents, in which case it might as well be a $30 stock, right? If it's at 90 cents and it's dropping 5 to 8 cents at a time, then it's no good in terms of risk in that aspect to where you can just get out with a 1 cent loss with big size. So if you use 20K shares, you take an 8 cent loss, it's pretty devastating, which is what we had for break of one on that first attempt, I think. Let's see. Yeah, the first attempt up here at one, we had a low of 92. It's pretty brutal to take on in that kind of candle if you're buying break of one, which is what I'd be doing a lot of times in this area with big size. KPTI, is this higher float? From hero to zero, the stock market, I tell you. Tomorrow I'm gonna size down. Um, I'm gonna size down just a little bit and just kind of wait out this slower cycle here, which today's already day number two. We'll see if things pick back up again in the end of the week. ERPO, this one's a mess. IKT, YQ. TENX having trouble. There's 1550. How are we looking on some of these big tech stocks? Small caps to the depths. Nice move on Tesla here. I'm watching this stock. If this stock comes back down to like 150, I'll be buying shares again. Tesla. What's today's date? The 6th. Is Snap earnings today? Or the 4th? Let me see. It might be in after hours today. Yeah, it's today, all right. Kind of article is that? PLTR's been treating me nicely. In for the swing trade. Yeah, right now I'm kind of just hanging out, waiting for something. Nothing's moving. Nothing treating me nicely here today. A nasty move down there on AGFY. Brutal move there. What's up with the stocks today? TENX, the Davy Jones locker. Yeah, I'll be back. Yesterday I came back, I did my damage control and then I gave it away. Today when I come back, if I make money on anything, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. Can we get this down to like a $300 red day if possible? We gotta make something happen here later in the day. Well, we don't have to make anything happen. Let's rephrase that. If there's opportunities that are good, then we will trade and use small size, build a cushion, and so forth. If I come back with small size and I'm taking losses, nothing is working, then I'm out of here for good until tomorrow again. Got to make sure I word this properly so it comes off well to all the listeners, right? The viewers and the students, because if you say it in the wrong way, it makes it sound like you're looking to force trades, which is not the case, right? That's the last thing we ever want to be doing. If you're doing that, you're asking yourself for trouble. And I don't want any trouble these days. I only want the good stuff. Had it flying high after those earnings, man. Down a little today, but flying high. From 390s to 480. Most impressive. Man, back when they were selling off too, it's like the market is just such a it's such a tricky thing, but you have to know what you're doing for sure. The average investor versus the expert investor, right? When it comes to really understanding a company and their balance sheets, understanding the operation thoroughly, right? You'll have a lot of big time investors really buying up these areas if they believe the company to be strong and undervalued. While the majority of people, and even including myself, had a lot of skepticism here, like, man, like what's really going on, right? 400 down to $90. I mean, sometimes it's pretty brutal, man. but this thing is gonna give an epic red to green. I tell you guys, if I had a time machine, past store, I would have been living pretty nicely. 90 to 456. What's that in terms of percentage? Segment 450%, somewhere there, somewhere in that range. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. But you do then you have, I mean, Netflix kind of did the same thing, but then you have companies like PayPal that never was able to come back up after a big drop. Netflix from eight, what was that, from 700 down to about 160. I mean, can you imagine being the person buying it at 680, 700, thinking that this thing is going to go to 1K? The risk is real, man. So, as they say, you got to like diversify and average in over time and not go in lump sum. If you ever go in lump sum and the market just happens to be in a great place, like for example, let's say you're the average investor and you happen to go in lump sum down here at like 180, then you did great, right? But not so much for the person who did the same thing up at 680. Is it luck? Perhaps. But again, we have to do our research, right? We have to educate ourselves. This is like a different style of trade versus scalping for sure. A lot of times we don't really think about the time horizon and how long we want to be invested, the target amount. These are all good questions. How long do I want to be in, on the SPY, for example? How long do I want to be buying the SPY? What is my goal financially? Right? These are some good questions before just, hey, I'm just buying SPY, right? Which is kind of what 90% of people will do. And then at that point it comes down to luck of the draw in terms of, is the economy in a good place or is it not? Buying before COVID and then right after they announced the vaccine. For sure, there's had to have been a good amount of people that might have bought those highs thinking we're going to go higher. And then it's a world of pain before it gets back to those similar levels. Are these highs going to continue? Right now, what it seems like is that the market will do well, and then there's a catalyst that comes out of nowhere that forces things to be bad. Whether it's like the banking crisis, right, going back to like '08, or then now recently the pandemic. I guess sometimes you can see it depending on who you are and the information you have available to you. Right? If you're probably in the banking system and you're well versed, you probably maybe could understand that, what these people are doing with these loans and giving them to subprime borrowers and it not being able to be sustained, maybe you could have positioned yourself. But if you're not into banking, you're kind of just the casual investor, you probably might not have been aware. The pandemic, it's one of those things where it's like, it's strange, man. Right now it seems like a blur, but you kind of go back into those days. The very early days of the pandemic was chaos, man. I'm surprised it didn't get worse than it did. Like some people choose violence, right? Like looting and that kind of stuff. People were buying out all the toilet paper for some reason. A lot of craziness. There's a lot of fear. There's so much fear. They had videos. They had videos of people just falling down in the street. I don't know who. I don't know where this stuff came from, or I don't know where that stuff came from, right? Of course, the pandemic was pretty serious. A lot of people lost their lives, but there are also some videos of like people just falling down and stuff. Like, but anyhow, there's a lot of fear. I remember us. There's like 20 of us in the Discord at one time, like talking, right? And it's like, you know, we're having a conversation, and some people are wondering if it's a good time to buy, if they want to wait. A lot of people like they have cash on the side. This is when we're getting the entire market halting down, right? But it's like as you're witnessing this stuff, and then learning, gaining the experience afterwards, the catalyst to the positive side, to the upside, is also pretty important, right? Whenever there's a huge issue, whether it's geopolitical, maybe a virus, banking stuff, whatever issue can cause the market to drop, whenever the catalyst comes out, it being, hey, we think there's a good solution. These are the steps we're going to follow. This is how we're going to get back. That is the time. And that was the day when Trump went on there and was talking about there being vaccines that are going to come within the next, like 3 weeks. People are going to get vaccinated, and we're going to have a V-shaped recovery, and we're going to open up the economy again. That day, we had the bottom. And since then, what we've done, we've went from 220 on the SPY up to 481. And so, inevitably there'll be something else again. This drop here is kind of like the rising of the interest rates, which is the current issue right now, right? Printing, a lot of printing here, us feeling the backlash of printing, or at least the market is at this point. Concerns about how high for how long, and then the word comes out on the street that, hey, Fed is done raising, and then we got this small move. So I want, have we priced in the drops? Maybe, maybe not. But what's going to be the next catalyst, right? What is the next catalyst going to be? What is the next catalyst going to be? I remember back when was it Obama? Maybe that was in office. Back then, something big was the trade wars between the U.S. and China, and how, or maybe even Trump. I'm not sure. Maybe it was Trump, like earlier on in his term. Trade wars, and negotiations between like steel and different beans and these type of things. You look back at stuff like that now, and it's so silly, right? Like that type of stuff is so silly compared to what has happened since. So what's the next catalyst going to be? Maybe in a few months, few years. What is the next catalyst going to be? There's a lot of geopolitical stuff, right? A lot of tension. So hopefully it's nothing with war, because the war stuff is just too much, man. But I think for me, the main goal right now, I don't have any money, right? I'm somebody that does not have money. So the main goal for me is to accumulate money now, right? As I continue to trade, live very frugally, right? I'm gonna consider myself a cheapskate, right? And that's how I'm gonna live until we get the next big crash. And then that'll be my chance to finally build wealth. But when we had this one, I'm not where I need to be. I'm not where I need to be now. So I'm gonna have to wait for the next big crash to finally get a chance to build wealth. These are the areas where you can build wealth properly. In the big crash. 158 down to 66. 2, 3 years later, we're back up. It's like doing well without a crash takes decades. If you, it's like whenever there's a crash, it's like the recovery from the crash is like 10 years of uptrend in one or in a few years, let's say. So by the time I'm like 50, 60 years old, how far are we going to be? How far is the SPY going to be by the time I'm like 65, 70? Are we going to, and we should be trending upwards ultimately. There's going to be a few more crashes because that seems to be normal. And then, we kind of uptrend again and then we uptrend again. What I don't need is for there to be a crash. If I'm, let's say, very aggressive in the market, I wouldn't want there to be a crash right around my retirement because then that kind of pushes back how you can move with money. If you're caught into a crash at the very end, maybe you have to wait another 5 years just to get back to flat or at least highs, let's say. Much less if it's a depression, then sweet gains of 60 years, goodbye. Risk is real, ladies and gentlemen, and that has happened to some people, right? Even on a smaller level when it comes to like pensions. You worked at 50 years, you're supposed to get the nice pension. The company announces, "Hey, no more pensions." These kind of things happen. Lucas is in the building, man. Lucas, we hope to see him back. You have to put at least one joke in there, right? It wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be the relentless trading community without one joke. But okay, I'll delete this. I'll delete that. There has been some people who have been complaining about the chat having a little too many gifts, which is fair, right? Especially for the main chat. There's a gen chat to do these things in. Oh my gosh, man. Nowadays it seems like a share size is part of the territory, but I gotta be careful. I still think I can have red days of like 300, maybe four on the higher side. So days like today and yesterday where I'm down like 1K, down 800, it can be reduced. But I have to not get aggressive too quickly when something looks good. I have to keep to the small size. That's a rule I have to implement, right? Because generally I'll reduce size when things look slow and then increase it again once a stock starts to move. But maybe I need to keep to the small size and build a cushion, right? Because it's like I reset. Okay, I'm right on the day, but it's like a reset in my mind. Hey, it's been a slow market sentiment. Utilize small size to try and build something, and then after that it's like confirmed, then increase size. Maybe that's what I need to do rather than to just, oh, this thing looks good, it's moved up. Because the moment I saw this bottoming wick, the moment I saw this bottoming wick here, it's like in my brain something just went off where it's like, this is it. Like this is the stock we've been waiting all day for. Right? And at the time, this is what I'm seeing: big bottoming wick. I'm just thinking the next candle is gonna be big green candle like this. Why am I thinking so aggressively? I don't know. Okay, not maybe a big green candle like that, but test of one. But it's just such a choppy move, and I'm not gonna beat myself up too much, right? Because look at how bullish this candlestick is. This is ideal for a reversal and a move up. The move is just choppy. So in a situation like this, it's just part of the deal. But it's still something to consider though, because other days we kind of have the same issues. Kitty, I don't usually allow these kind of free promos for these guys. But we'll let this one slide today. We'll let it slide. Okay, it's 10:30. Nothing is moving. Let's see if there's any questions coming in on the YouTube stream. WNW, HSDT, HDST, HSDT. By the time you get to retirement, you'll have so much knowledge it wouldn't matter. One thing I have been thinking about is being outside of the market. Like I want to have a business completely away from this stuff, but I don't know. I don't know yet what that's gonna be. I guess ultimately it will be tied into the economy in some shape or form, but in terms of just digital market trading, this type of stuff. Questions about indicators? Nora, Nora, I apologize. If you have any questions now, you can ask. It's impossible for me to answer questions as I trade. Do I teach indicators? Um, well, yes, the answer is yes, right? We use a few indicators, including the VWAP, the 200 EMA. We talk about how to use trend lines properly for intraday trading, pre-market trading. Um, we also do daily chart analysis with indicators and trend lines, right? And the importance of these indicators on that time frame. Uh, the level two in itself for us, the level two in time and sales is also an indicator for us, right? And this is the level two up here. I'll put it on screen. This color coded instrument here we use as a means to get in and out of trades, right? Helps us with execution. A lot of the times, we're basing off our entries not only on the patterns, um, but let's phrase it like this: the patterns come first, but the level two helps us to be able to take the entry, right? So it's like the trigger point. It's like the trigger point. Allows us to know, okay, I want to buy here because the setup is looking such and such, and now the volume and the price action is at its most ideal area for the move to happen, for the setup to play out. RT, looking from far. I feel like you were not supposed to push it today. I don't know what it was, but I knew you were off and not excited about today's market. Um, well, that's a pretty forward statement, which I like. I love that. I'm thinking about how I want to respond to this. Um, I was off. I mean, I get, I don't know. You guys will perceive me differently at times. There's different days I'll come with different levels of energy just based off of how I'm feeling, things like that. But definitely, right, I was down when the first red trade I took on this stock, I was down 200 and I was down 200 on a day. And at that point, I'm thinking, I thought maybe I was just a little too aggressive, right? And that was right here at 42. I was a little too aggressive because I didn't have enough information in terms of the tendencies of the stock. And I came in aggressively because simply because of the price range. I'm in 5K size and I happened to lose 4 cents. I could have cut the trade sooner, but I kind of gave it a chance because the VWAP level was here and it just kept dropping. But I had the thought to slow down there, but kind of fell victim to the market here today. But I honestly love the forward statement there. I believe in people being forward. It's not for everybody, but I like it. Let's see. Just came in to check. Ninja Ape, what's up? What's up? A dominator for stocks? I'm not sure what that is. Oh, no overhead. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, that's a fair point, right? This business, this besides our initial startup cost, which is, let's say the monitors, the PC, the desk, maybe a good chair to sit in. Besides that, there's not a ton of expenses. Besides maybe one of the only reoccurring expense would be your internet bill, maybe some electricity bill, right? A portion of it. This is good in that way, right? And my brother and I recently we were talking about a company like Meta versus a company like UPS, right? Where one is, let's say, mostly digital, right? With Facebook and Instagram, WhatsApp. They're an online application and they're being paid via ads and ad revenue and things like that. Versus a company like UPS where you need a fleet of trucks. You need factories all over the world. You need airplanes. It's like so much more of a headache, really. To operate that kind of business versus something that's based online, right? There's so much more that has to go into that. And not saying running a company like Meta is easy because it's not, but it's definitely, maybe a little less moving parts. Yeah, yeah, North. You know what's been happening to me with the disclaimer every day, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. Every day I start the live stream after 9:15 is because I'm using the bathroom. It's just one of those things where I can't really do anything about it. I'm a firm believer in not holding it in, and so I rather push the live stream back than to come on time and be uncomfortable. So that's what's happening to me, and then it's like everything is literally being pushed back like 5-10 minutes. If that's too much information, I apologize, but the pastor is the most transparent trader here. Why do I stick to stocks and not options? I see a lot of people doing options over stocks. It's Albano. Um, I think it's like a preference thing. It's a preference thing. Some people will trade futures. Some other people will prefer forex or crypto. Maybe it could be what you might have came across first and what you were more attractive to in the beginning. But seeing how I see things here in the stocks in the low float market for stocks, I think this is a great place to be. And if I can continue to get better here, the opportunities are somewhat limitless. Yeah, TENX is curling up a little bit. I still would want to see at least double, triple the volume though. At least double the volume would be nice. 1630 is going to be a huge level. But I definitely have to try and do the disclaimer earlier. It's best to have it early and maybe even a few more times throughout the live stream if possible. What? What did I read this? Brother, brother. Why I don't understand why they have this stupid emoji thing here in the way, making it tricky. Adam, brother. Adam. Let's please keep it professional. Thank you, Big Steve. I This emoji thing is in my way. I couldn't even get to it. Um, do I ever use Bookmap? No. Bookmap is like an indicator for anybody who might not know. Uh, I don't really know how to explain it. The best thing to do is to look it up, but I don't use it. Some people do. There's a few people in our Discord that use it, and for them, it's very helpful. Some some people, I don't even know what to say, man. Unbelievable. Cabarro, TENX. I'm scrolling up. 5 year scalp. BT. John B. Cooper. Dash. Yeah, that guy is wilding out, man. McGaming in at 1501. I believe McGaming is one of those people who might be using Bookmap, actually. Tomorrow, I'm definitely going to size down just a little bit. What is level 2? Level 2 is also referred to as market depth. It allows you to see uh, buyers and sellers, right, in the form of bid and ask. It allows you to see where people are looking to buy and where people are looking to sell a particular stock. Now, it's important to mention that every order is being displayed on the level 2, as there are hidden orders and other means of moving big money. But it does show you a fair amount of orders, and that can be insight towards future price, predictions, right? So let's just say something very obvious, right? You're watching at a particular setup, and on the level two, you know, you see that there's a huge buyer of 100,000 shares very close to the area where you think the stock should give a good move in a upwards direction. So let's say there's a huge bid that comes in. Let's say you're watching at a stock, let's say a break of two, and there's also, let's say, a bull flag breakout at that level of two. So you're looking to be in, let's say, somewhere between 95 and $2. Let's say a tight stop, whether break even stop or maybe something at, like, let's say 90, you're risking 5 cents or so. And boom, you're in at 95. There's a 100,000 share buyer right there. And volume is coming into the upside. You're pushing up 99, 2, 201, 203, and so forth. That's how it can be utilized, right? And just potentially being able to understand where the stock will be based off of what's happening now, seeing where buyers and sellers are coming in right now. And so the level two goes hand in hand with the time and sales, which is a flow of the current orders, right? So I don't look at the time and sales in terms of like really watching at it. I look at it in the side of my eye for the color code. So green, which signifies buying at or above the ask price, and red selling at or below the bid price. And then there's the orders in between, market orders, and maybe other midpoint orders. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And I think we might be out of here. Level 3. Once Elon Musk masters this Neuralink, I'm just going to connect my brain to the computer and get direct access to the market. For real. Maybe I can sweet talk the algorithm into giving me the best shares. There's so many sci-fi movies with these chips in the head and or in the hand. It's like we're becoming more like robots every day. Gotta start toilet training. Duty calls, brother. Being in the here's what I'll tell you guys, right? Being in the day trading team house, everybody does this, but not everybody's going to go live stream, so you wouldn't know, right? If you're a morning person, it's just what it is. New CPU and motherboard. I need to put some better RAM sticks in my computer. Who has the most experience, like trading wise, or just like in general? If it's just in general, um, Save, he's a little older than us. I think he might be the most traveled. Um, he's pretty like knowledgeable, knows his stuff. pretty, firm guy. In terms of like trading, all the guys are pretty solid. But I will say I love Crispy, man. Crispy. I have a lot of good things to say about Crispy. I have a lot of good things to say about Crispy. When it comes to trading, the guy is an absolute animal. He's a beast. He pushes it to the limits and is very disciplined about his trading. And even outside the market, he's a pretty great guy, firm guy. We have we have some stories with Crispy that are good stories, right? That shows that he's even for someone who's young, like he's very well informed. I'm not. I could say some stories, but I'll leave it for another time. Crispy trades, brother. I had dinner with Crispy and his siblings once. Great people, man. I use mental stops, mental stops. So there's a couple of factors that go into how I determine a stop. First and foremost is the type of trade. Is this a breakout or bailout trade? Or is this a trade where I'm looking to hold towards a particular support? Any hive day trade is always going to be a breakout or bailout trade. If it's a dip trade, sometimes I'm looking for the instant bounce. But if it's more so like a longer 5 minute pullback, and I think I can be in fairly low, but the support is a zone, right? Let's say a stock is between 5 and 5.15, and we came all the way from 6, and I'm in, let's say, 5.10. I'd feel comfortable to hold, let's say, maybe to 4.99 to 4.95, being that that's where I think it's the lower end of the support zone. If we break down there, then we're probably failing. In that particular kind of trade, I'd hold until we hit that stop and hope for the move back up. And I could be in a trade like that for 5 minutes or maybe 20 minutes. It doesn't happen a lot on the channel, but it does a few times. Some stocks will curl up quickly, others will take longer. But other than that, so the quick dips, like the panic flushes, if we're coming down hard, I'm in. Can we get that quick relief bounce? If not, it's also like a breakout or bailout trade. It's like, hey, bounce, or I'm out flat, or I'm gonna try and keep it tight. There'll be days we get caught in those trades. You guys will see me being in, and then I'll shake my head like this and smile a little bit, and I'm red 500, right? Cooper, take it easy, stay safe, stay green. Yeah, Crispy's polite. Don't get me wrong, right? Like all the guys in the house are great guys. Save, you know, very cool. It's like you wouldn't even think the guy is like 30, 31 or 32. It's like he's like our age, right? I mean, it's like the group is pretty smooth, man. We don't have any problems. Um, it's always a good time. It's always great conversations. Tim is the most recent guy that we hung out with. You know, just great things. I mean, great things. Cool, funny as well. Tim is a pretty funny guy. Smooth group, and there's a guy in our Discord who's a little bit more of like a comedian that's like he's saying we're the most diverse group that there ever was, which is somewhat true, right? Um, I think the only like ethnicity slash like race, however you would coin it, that we don't have there maybe is someone of like Indian descent, but pretty diverse, right? And Drew is pretty cool. Might come off as a little bit more conservative, but once you talk to him, great guy. Has that nice California vibe. You know, So if people have asked about this, like, are there any female traders in the group? Well, the thing is that there's not a lot of female traders out there in terms of just like statistics wise. We already know how hard it is to be profitable, and um, not saying that profitability is like the only reason we'd have someone in the group. That's not what it is, but it definitely helps, right? Because it is expensive, right? Some of these things that we'll be doing is pretty expensive, and you have to also be able to be available, right? Whether it's for a few days or a week, you got to have the availability. And so, over time, I think there will be female traders. It's something that we don't mind, but it just comes down to, there being somebody who's like there in our community and who's also willing and able to come. There's the people like Humble Trader. There's an options trader named Mozzie. These type of people are great because ultimately it'll inspire more women to maybe get into the market, right? Which we do know is a field that's predominantly male, right? So I think over time, over the next few years, there'll definitely be more female traders. If there's ever a group of women that do what we do, they'd probably be bigger than us, right? I mean, like content wise and these type of things, because it's just not really, if you want to say like the norm, it's like you'd expect a guy to be doing this stuff, right? So when you have someone who's like a culture shock in a sense doing it, they'd probably go viral like very quickly. No, Crispy does not upload his trades. He'll have a few archives maybe here and there. Yeah, I thought about live streaming with my Meta glasses. I should never have bought those things, man. They're all right, but they're not that great, I think. I thought about doing it, but then it's like it's a little too much. Maybe it's a little too transparent, right? Then I gotta worry about getting leaked. I have to like, because I'll have mail, like I have mail over here, for example, right? It's like I look over there and look back, there goes my address. And then it's to the depths. Crispy might have took, oh yeah, actually, no, I think he did mention this to me. He took down the videos. So maybe he'll post videos here and there. But you guys can definitely check him out on Twitter. He uploads to Twitter frequently, talking about how his days went and things that he's looking to do better to improve. You guys can check him out. Crispy Trades on Twitter. Crispy Trades. Marcelo is like Marcelo is, when it comes to the group, who gives off more of the dad kind of vibes? Let's see. I don't even think there's a person in there. Yeah, maybe not. Marcelo is definitely funny. That's for sure. Right? Marcelo is one of the funnier guys. The mighty got slammed. Don't worry, brother. 500 bucks is a scratch trade, brother. Yeah, Crispy and I we trade similar, but there are some differences. Like he does use the ladder. I use level 2. So three of the guys in the team house use the ladder and the other three uses level 2. So myself, Tim, and Marcelo, we use the level 2, and then Calamity, Crispy, and MX, aka Save, they use the ladder. I don't know. It's when I look at the ladder, I don't know, man. If I was forced into using it, maybe I'd get good. But when I look at the ladder, I just see a bunch of gibberish. But it's essentially a level 2. It's being displayed in a different way. My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it professional. Let's keep it professional. What is wrong with you? This is exactly why not anybody could be invited on these group trips. I mean, goodness gracious. Yeah, active trader, ladder are like similar names for the same thing, right? Synonyms, active trader. Dash, don't worry about it, brother. Okay, I think this is a good place. This is a good place to shut it down. Second red day in a row. Time to size down a bit. Yesterday, no, today, we've been in this type of situation now maybe 100 times. Maybe not that many, but we know what it is, right? We know what it is. Maybe it's a good time to take a small vacation too. But it is inevitable that the market will pick back up and we'll be here having some sweet gains very soon. We need to make sure we don't lose too much. So approaching the day with a little bit more caution. Yesterday I was green on a few of the stocks before going red. Today I think maybe the same, like TENX because of the price range and my expectations. Some trades I'm up 20 cents. I'm not looking to take profits. So I need to adjust my expectations. Let's say this market here lasts till Friday, maybe next week. I need to adjust expectations because I was kind of looking for like, more of a move, right? But if I just take my 15 cents, my 10 cents, 1,000 shares, hey, can I do that two, three times? Two, three, $400, and then that's it. Hey, shut it down. Take the money and run, right? So there's some sirens in the background. But yeah, guys, if you're going till 4 p.m., continue to be disciplined, continue to be patient. I'm gonna get to these DMs here, and then uh, I'll be around. If something else moves, I'll be here. We're gonna do some damage control if possible, and hopefully we can reduce this red day. Right now we're down $700, 706 and 30 cents. 706 30 cents. Only if I could have known when I am red, I could have took this money and went out shopping or something. Anyhow, stay safe, stay green. I'll catch you guys later. Am I really up top? What's going on? Um, why am I floating in the middle of the screen? Ah, okay, I see. Hope I don't think level 2 was on. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, take care, guys. Stay safe, stay green. It's been Relentless Trader, and I am, of course, signing out. Power hour is the last hour of the day, or I'll even be around 1, 2 p.m. just checking in to see if something is moving. Take it easy, guys. Hit that thumbs up on the way.